Tony Bennett is our guest here on Sports Radio 910. We're interrupting a 2-on-2 basketball game in his driveway, so we're going to let him go. But, Coach, there's a guy who sprinted across this room who wanted to talk with you real quick and ask you a question. That is our proud sponsor today, George Whitlow from Lexus of Richmond. So I'm going to let him pop a question in here.
You got it. It's one of my favorites, so that's good, George. Go ahead, fire away. I did get the tires rotated on the Lexus, and I've kept the oil in check, so we should be good.
I don't think you can get away without your maintenance. That's not going to work. No, I just want to say, first of all, we just want to thank you for rejuvenating the fan interest in basketball in Charlottesville. You've done a remarkable job. Everybody knows you as that pack line defense. I've been doing some research to find out how deep the roots of that particular defense go in basketball, and I discovered that Wisconsin won the national NCAA championship in 1941, and the score of 39-34 leads me to believe that was a pack line defense. What do you think?
You know, it's funny. I think they might have beat Washington State, where I coached
exactly
before I
right.
came to Virginia. So, but no, that's. I tell you what, you look at this, George. Every team that's left, and pretty much from the Sweet 16 on down, you have to have a strong defense. Of course, you got to be good offensively, but you don't advance if you're not really tough and really good defensively, and that always stands the test. And you know, when Wisconsin went to the Final Four last time, I was part of that staff with my dad, and it was a great joy. And you know, now they're there this time, and you know, that's a real good defensive team with good offense. And you look at the other three teams, so it does work.
So the matchups between Wisconsin and the big boys at Kentucky, what's your take on how that's going to the ebb and flow of that? Normally it's great guard play and shooting free throws that decides here, but that game is a real matchup.
Yeah, I think you said it as far as matches, I think there's a key matchup Kentucky's going to have to deal with, and this Frank Kaminsky, who's a 7-footer, who shoots the three, puts it on the floor. You know, depending upon who Kentucky plays inside, the one big, Dakari Johnson, he's not as mobile. Now, he's good, he's talented, but when you talk about having a big guy having to get out on the floor and guard him, that's going to present some problems. Obviously, you got to keep Kentucky off the glass, but Wisconsin has very good. They're very unselfish. They move the ball, they pass, they're skilled, and they have experience, and they don't usually beat themselves. But you know, Kentucky, those young kids have come together, and they have all that talent. And Coach Cal does a heck of a job, so you got a war. But I think that Kaminsky matchup, if they can't handle him, that's going to be trouble for Kentucky. If they can and do that, then, you know, I think maybe, you know, then it's going to be a heck of a game.
Well, you know, we're seriously planning next year to be having this discussion with you in the same room when you bring your team to the next Final Four. We have that belief that it's coming, and we can't tell you how much we appreciate the great job you're doing with our boys.
No, I appreciate that, George, and thanks you guys for having me on. I can stay longer. I see there's a break in our 2-on-2 game in the driveway, so I got more if you want, but you probably got a better guest waiting behind me.
That's
so
not.
Whoa.
No.
Before we go, here's the most important question, Coach. It is at the half. Who's winning, your team or the other team?
Well, my wife and I just took on my son and daughter and dominated them because they were talking back a little smart, so we just had to flex a little bit, and it was physical, so I liked it. So we're going to probably flip teams here. It'll be good.
If you've got another minute, what do you think about the matchup with Shabazz Napier in that first game with Florida and UConn?
Yeah, you know, I really was hoping, obviously, we could get by Michigan State because I wanted to see if we could handle our defense, could handle the quickness of Napier and Boatwright, and see if we could wear them down, you know, make them chase. So I was kind of fascinated to watch them. I think they're so hot right now, but being with Coach Donovan this summer on the USA team, I mean, that's a veteran team, and they really pride themselves defensively. They use some of the pack line principles in the half court, and I think they're pretty tough. So I think Florida will be good, but he is the one kind of player. You know, each team has, whether it's an NBA guy or two, but that when the game's on the line or the shot clock's winding down, they can just go get a basket and make something out of nothing, and you need that. And that's something where, you know, we didn't have that quite to that ability, and Napier is probably the best in the tournament at doing that, and Kemba Walker did the same thing. So, you know, he's going to be the key matchup in that one. But I think Florida is sound defensively, and they're going to wear you down as it goes. But when you get to this point, anybody can win it. You know that.
Coach, they're calling you back on the floor. I'm up against the break. I don't want you to get a technical in your driveway, so we will let you go, sir.
Thanks, Coach.
Okay, guys. Thanks for having me. Talk to you later.
Okay.
You got it. Ladies and gentlemen, the head coach Tony Bennett, head coach of the Wahoos.